Rocks, some so big you can barely carry them. Small but precious nonetheless. And the diamond saw slices its way through a thunder egg to reveal a picture painted by nature 1,000,000 years ago. Cut and polished, the finished product. This is the ROCKHOUND Pow Wow. Hi, Don Hobart, your cameraman host of another high and wild adventure. The word rockhound can mean many things. A solidified dog, for instance. But this is also the name given to a human being afflicted, and I do mean afflicted, with a disease known as rock collecting, and hence the word rockhound. Now, rockhounding is the second largest hobby in the world. First place goes to stamp collecting. Once a year in the town of Prineville in Central Oregon, rockhounders from all over the United States and Canada get together for a rockhound powwow. The city of Prineville has filed claims on over 600 acres of ground that's thrown open to the rockhounds so that they can dig to their heart's content. They play host to 11,000 rockhounds during the rockhound powwow. Our story begins in a moment. An old prison punishment was the rock pile, making little ones out of big ones. Can you imagine anyone doing it for fun? The perfect picture of a rockhound beating the whey out of a piece of rock. This may look like just plain rock to you, but to him it's a precious find. It's agate. Now the word agate used by the rockhound fraternity is used to describe loosely any translucent rock. The small town of Prineville, Oregon, located in the geographical center of the state, plays host once a year to about 11,000 rockhounds. They welcome these people with open arms. The quiet little city with the Crooked River running down through the center of it. Population, 3,366. But about the 1st of July, when the rockhound powwow starts, it jumps to about 13,000 something. They play host to the rockhounds. They come from all over the United States and Canada. They pull trailers, have campers, and here we meet a strange breed known as the tailgater. The city of Prineville sets aside mining claims for rockhounders to play in. Now, to be a good rockhound, you have to have sharp tools. Here's our camera outfit. We set up in a nice, quiet corner, we hope. This gentleman, Ivan Chappelle, is probably the biggest starter of this. On his left would be Charlie Robinson. John Wurstenberg. He is a fading artist. There are very few of them left. He's a blacksmith, and a fine one. He can look at the red on that metal and tell if it's good. He has an eye. He is a true artist. He's sharpening tools for the rockhounders. There's very, very few of these people left. He'll not only sharpen the tools for you, he'll give you a line of chatter that will tickle you to death. But when he starts to work and that metal is hot, nothing slows him down. The tempering. This is a delicate process and takes an expert. Everything must be done at exactly the right time and at exactly the right temperatures. It takes a certain touch. John has that touch. It comes from years and years of experience. From all over the United States, the cars have driven in. At a strange hour in the morning, exactly 4:30, someone gets on the loudspeaker system and wakes everyone up. Now, these rocks have been here for thousands and thousands of years, but you have to get up early to get to them. This is Charlie Robinson's main thought. Everybody gets up. Can you imagine feeding from 8,000 to 10,000 people on a brisk morning? How many tons of potatoes does it take to feed 10,000 people? I have no idea, but it's a monstrous project. The rockhound digging areas are scattered all around Prineville. There will be claims, maybe 1 acre, a half an acre, sometimes 6 to 10 acres in width. Everybody takes off for a different area, wherever he prefers. This gentleman couldn't get time to shave in the morning, and so he shaves in his car. The lead-off car, they're headed out. They join up in caravans and spread out to the rock digging area. Out into the hills. We're headed to a sheep creek diggings. As you can see, there are plenty of cars here. There's one more hill to climb. Then the work begins. We'll show you what we mean after this time out. I said before that there was one more hill to climb. Well, believe me, it's a steep one. Whew, that is a steep one. Now, the rock picking tools that you carry are very simple. If you carry them up hills like this very often, they'll get to be a little heavy. True. But you can go as elaborate as you feel. Number one, I would say, would be the small pick hammers. If you wish to go bigger, you can get yourself a bigger pick. like this one. From there, you can go into the hammer and chisel stage, and if you wish to go to the 10-pound maul, here again, it's whatever you can carry. We're into a moss agate area. The city of Prineville has dug out these boulders. These are pure agate, moss agate, a rockhounder's find. Agate. Cut and polished, it becomes a thing of beauty. A pleased rockhounder? You bet. As you can see, some of the equipment here gets to be in the hefty variety. 10-pound mauls. But here again, caution is recommended. You can actually break up a beautiful piece of agate and crack it the wrong way by hitting it with one of these big sledges. Now there goes a real rockhound. Moss agate, polished, a thing of beauty. The city of Prineville has sent out caterpillars to uncover this area so that the rockhounders can get a good, fair swing at it. And believe me, they are really swinging. There's a trusting soul. I don't know whether it would have the nerve. That chisel will work its way in. As you can see, there is no age limit. From 6 to 60 or 9 to 90, whichever you prefer. A rockhounder has to have a wet tongue. If you find a rock that shows promise, you have to lick it. This brings out the brilliant colors. And one of the gentlemen here says if it tastes like tobacco juice, you throw it down because somebody else has already licked it. This kid showed up with a scooter and made himself $15 before he knew where it came from. The object now is to get your find out where you can get it into your car. This hill is a steep one. It's better to let the kid roll it down with that scooter than mess around with it. If you could just carry that all out at once. He's trying to figure out how to get that big boulder out of there. But it's impossible, so you have to break it up and move it a piece at a time. And as you can see, everybody is busy. This gentleman was looking for his lunch. He found it in the bottom of that rock sack. Thin sandwiches. Ah, 250 pounds of boulder if he can just get it to his car. Now, what he's going to do with it when he gets it home, no one seems to know. Okay, down to the car. $1 a load. And here's a real believer in physical fitness. He carries his out on a packboard and is happy doing it. We're moving to another area. An inquisitive deer, a doe, zips over the fence with the greatest of ease. Those springy legs. This country is full of deer. We move on to the small town of Paulina and have lunch, and then on out to the rock picking area. We're going out to what they call the limb cast area. A strange sign posted by Hoot Elkins, and amazingly enough, look down at the bottom. It says, "Trespassers welcome. Have fun." The Rockhounder is a strange breed. Nothing seems to faze him if he's into a good rock-picking area where he can find just one or two good, pretty finds a day. And then you have some unwanted characters. Well, not even a rattler can faze these boys. Let's go rock hunting. Who cares? Rockhounders are a hardy lot. Nothing, even a deadly rattlesnake, bothers them. We'll be back in a moment. I always confine my rock collecting to the little ones. Finding those big ones, boy, that's nothing but work. The mating call of a rockhound. Clink, 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 clink. You can hear it echoing through the hills, and it's the sound of a hammer against a chisel. In the limb cast area, this gentleman is digging for petrified wood. It can come up in brilliant and beautiful colors. And again, the wet tongue is a necessity. You can always tell a rockhound by the way his tongue is set in the rim of dirt around his mouth. You hold it up to the light and analyze its beauty. Gene Dilks with his news camera heads out across a rock pile and, say, isn't that a pretty rock? And another rockhounder is born. He came out of there with his pockets so full he could barely walk. Back at the fairgrounds, the tailgaters. Now, a tailgater, he has his station wagon full of boulders. He'll trade, swap, buy, sell, and generally have a good time doing it. A thunder egg with a picture inside. This one has been sliced with a diamond saw. Beautiful reds, greens, pictures, desert scenery, and here a petrified worm. A swap, a trade? No, I'll pay you money for it. He doesn't want to do that either. They're collectors. Collectors of odd things. Would you like to buy that? No, I don't want to sell it. What is it? Well, frankly, it's a rye whiskey jug. An old rye whiskey jug. Don't ask me what that last thing was. I have no idea. The kids, boy, do they have fun. This is called a rock scramble. They go around and pick up all of the polished rocks that some people would rather not have, and they string it out for the kids. Now, he who comes last gets nothing. Oh, boy. Only came up with 2. Well, next year, maybe we'll do a little better. rocks are the prize. A polishing machine. After a diamond cutter gets through with it, they're polished to a high gloss. Now, most rock gatherers, they just gather rocks. But here's one, Bob Minton. He has a well-supplied shop. He has equipment, yards and yards of it. He brings his find home, looks it over very carefully, sets it under that diamond saw, and prepares to slice off a very thin slice. The whirling saw is bathed in oil, and it goes sliding down through this rock like it was almost butter. The design is scribed with a brass pencil. Then another diamond saw is used as a trim saw. This is a good way to get your fingernails trimmed also. This way it is cut to shape. And then the polishing and the finishing begins. What started out as a rock boulder, perhaps, is now becoming a finished article of jewelry. The high, glistening polish is placed on. Now, you only need a couple of tools. Look at these drawers. There are 4 or 5 of them. And the tools, uncountable. Now, Bob knows how to use every one of these. In fact, he has written books on how to collect agates and then how to fix them up into finished jewelry. He lays that polished piece of stone that he has taken out of the Oregon desert onto a bolo tie. The final finished polishing. Finished jewelry. These are pictures of beauty. Look at this brooch. With the light behind it, it becomes a desert scene. Jade rings and earrings set in gold. So, from the finished rock, taken away from the desert with a hammer and a chisel, to the finished product. Well, there you have it. To several million people, the most interesting hobby there is. A good family hobby, one for all ages. A simple hobby. As a matter of fact, if you have a gravel driveway, take a close look at it sometime. Until next week, this is Don Hobart wishing each of you good fishing, good hunting, and good luck.